The next item on our agenda is just, I don't think there's anything for us to take action on, but I think we have some presenters here. It's the construction law section's proposed model residential construction contract documents. And they start at page 208 of your materials. So do we have Masaki Yamada present?
Yes, Mr. President,
There you
I am
are.
present.
You have the floor.
All right.
Thank you. You might want to
thank
walk
you.
everybody. You might want to walk everybody through these documents.
Sure, and thank you to the board for hearing me as a representative of the construction section. We would just like the approval to post the amended existing model residential construction contracts onto the website to make available for the public. There are also two new model residential construction contracts that are based on the existing four, and of course modified to address the new types of aspects that are included in those construction contracts. So the existing four that were effectively updated because of new law that has passed in the last 10 years were the lump sum contract, and then the cost plus contract, the design build lump sum contract, and the design build cost plus contract. The two new additions were the cost plus contract with a guaranteed maximum price and a design build cost plus contract with a guaranteed maximum price. The construction law section formed a subcommittee to go over these contracts, and effectively had four of us, including myself, the past chair of the construction law section, Brett Hill, another attorney, Scott Campbell, and Bryce Center, to do the first round of revisions to all of these contracts. We then exchanged it amongst ourselves to go over each other's revisions, and then we submitted them to the construction law section executive committee, who also then reviewed them, and then they were approved by the members of the committee on December 8th, 2021. We also had a peer review done on these contracts by some experts and other attorneys that we feel are experts in some of these fields, such as the design build field, and had attorneys review them in addition to our own reviews. There is no financial impact by having these approved and posted onto our website, and they are in compliance with WSBA's purpose of promoting an effective legal system and making it accessible to the public to use.
Anybody have any questions for our presenter? Governor Peterson, Governor Schicchetti, or past Governor Schicchetti.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for doing this work. I guess my only concern is, do we need malpractice insurance if we're posting these? And if we do we have it?
I know a risk assessment was a topic previously on this, and to be honest with you, I'm not sure what was decided previously based on the risk analysis then, but and this is to further reduce the risk is by updating these and making sure that they are compliant with current law. So again, I'm not sure exactly what assessment was done years ago to have these approved and passed, but I would say that the risk has been reduced because we are updating it and having this cycle of updating these contracts.
Thank you.
Former President Shigetti.
Thank you. A question for Mr. Yamada. From what you just said, do we have existing contracts right now posted on the website, and this is just an update to that?
Yes, we do, Mr.
Okay.
President.
And, just looking through this, and I do practice in construction law, and I'm very impressed with the work, and these I think would be very helpful for a number of practitioners and people in general. I note that one of the authors is Mr. Sinner, who happens to be my next door neighbor and an excellent attorney down in Southwest Washington. So I wanted to thank you for bringing this to my attention and to our attention. My question, though, is to Executive Director Nevitt. Is this the type of stuff that I don't remember seeing anything before in my 5 years on the board, where we would have to approve something that's being posted on the internet. Do we have a policy to that effect? Is that the process?
Yeah, I'm going to defer to General Counsel Shakelin, who has her hand up. I think it's sometimes yes, sometimes no. We don't have a policy on point, but I'll let General Counsel Shakelin speak about it.
General Counsel Shanklin, please.
Thank you. Oh,
Please
sorry.
educate us.
Yeah, so this appears to have been approved in 2010 in the first instance. I do think this is an unusual action. At the time, there are lots of materials in the BOG materials from 2010, but the minutes don't say anything about the analysis. They just show that the board voted to approve posting them. So yeah, this is somewhat different from the normal thing that the board would do. But as I said in the risk analysis, yes, there is always a risk when you're posting some kind of a legal document that people are going to use and interpret in various ways. It appeared that back in 2010, the board balanced that risk against providing documents for the education of the members, use of the members and the public, because anyone can access the website. The contracts that were posted in 2010, the model contracts, contain the following disclaimer language. The Council for the Construction Law section of the WSBA prepared this model residential construction contract, that's that one, to help homeowners and builders allocate risks and responsibility. This form contract document does not constitute legal advice or recommendations, and there is no substitute for careful review by the parties and their attorneys. The drafters, the council, and the WSBA construction law section are not responsible for any use of the document. We did ask that WSBA be specifically included in the disclaimer language. It's not clear to me why it wasn't in there from the beginning. But that's part of the reason why this is on your agenda and you're being asked to kind of reapprove it, is that because this is an unusual action and balancing of risk and benefits is involved, it seems appropriate for the board to be involved in making that determination.
Thank you.
I should add the disclaimer that General Counsel just mentioned is at the very beginning. It as kind of a preamble to the contract itself on every single contract. So that language is there right at the top and bolded.
Okay, we've got Governor Peterson, followed by Governor-elect Fay, followed by our Kevin Flatchy, our advancement director, and then I believe Nancy Hawkins.
I've taken my hand down. Sorry,
Okay.
President Tolson.
Governor-elect Fay.
Thank you very much. I have a couple of points to make on these form contracts. First of all, there are dozens. Full disclosure, I've done a fair amount of construction work over the years. Everything from Kenworth plant in Renton to, just a lot of construction work all around the world. There are dozens of form construction contracts out there in the universe. There's a huge set published by the American Institute of Architects. There's a set published by the Society of Engineers. The Design Build organization, whose actual name escapes me, has their own set. And they are all, they're all bulldozers. They're huge and they're really not appropriate for residential construction. The contracts that the section has put up, on the other hand, are very good. I know this because I used one of them to build my own house. And I did spiff it up a little bit. So this is a very standard thing. If you try to find construction contracts on the internet through Google, you'll find dozens, hundreds. To my knowledge, no one's ever sued the American Institute of Architects because the form wasn't any good, or any of the other organizations whose contracts my company had paid money to access. These contracts are a great resource, and I don't think it's no more legal advice than any of the desk books that are going to be up on the internet. Last but not least, Mr. Yamada, before you post them, they've got some extra page breaks you might want to take out. Just the word processing.
Okay. Thank you for pointing that out.
Oh, and I'm done. Thank you.
Advancement Director Kevin Platchy.
Thank you, President Tollefson. Ooh. Yeah, I'm using it. Sorry about that. I just wanted to say that there are some sections that have brought similar things. The business law section is one. I believe they brought some things like this in 2019 to the board. And I was going to bring up the fact that it does have the disclaimer on it, and the point that Governor-elect Fay brought up, which was, it's similar information that's provided. The section provides this on their website as a member benefit to help construction law attorneys have a resource to draft contracts, but it's not much different than some of the forms we provide in our CLEs to members. I mean, we provide forms and course books and CLEs on an ongoing basis. The desk books do the same thing. And we provide a disclaimer on all of our course books, similar to what the construction law section is disclaiming, that it doesn't constitute legal advice, and that we suggest that attorneys utilizing the information make sure that it's assure its accuracy. So it's very similar to what we do with our ongoing CLE resources, which are very similar.
Nancy Hawkins.
I know nothing about construction law, so I know nothing whether that particular form is good, but I trust Kevin that if he used it, it must have some merit. But I do think that the Bar Association does need to be very careful about what forms it puts out. It wasn't that long ago that I learned that the LLT board had put some forms on the Bar Association website under their board section. It has no disclaimer. It was not reviewed or supported by the family law section. Obviously, LLT board has its own board, but it does worry me as a member of the family law executive committee that somehow that could be confused as something that's been endorsed by the family law section. And it is not the kind of form that I would ever use for the subjects that it uses. In years past, though, the family law section has been involved with others in drafting forms or helping draft forms when our legislature periodically sees fit to order vast changes in forms, such as imposing pattern or mandatory forms for family law matters. And my understanding is that the family law section participated with others, along with the administrator of the courts, in working on, I think it was hundreds of forms to try and meet the legislature's requirements for those forms. So certainly a process should be in place to involve all stakeholders in various topics. And those mandatory forms don't say at the bottom that they're approved by the Bar Association. They say they're forms from the administrator of the courts, I believe. So it's a complicated and fraught with danger process for us to approve mandatory forms in different subject areas. And I think the Bar Association should be quite careful about it. And, separately, it would be nice if the forms put out there on the family law topics were reviewed or taken down.
Okay, I don't think we have a motion yet, but I'm hoping we have quorum, but I don't know if we have a motion yet to approve this or not. Oh, we have Advancement Director Platchy again, sorry.
Yes, thank you. Why does that do that? Oh. So I have a question more than a comment based off of what Nancy Hawkins had said. I think the construction law section is just asking the board to give them approval to post these on the site, not to necessarily approve the content of the form. And I think that's an important distinction. And if the representative Saki, if I've got that wrong, let me know. But I think that's your intention, is to get approval from the board to post them.
You're absolutely correct.
Any final thoughts from anybody? Well, we don't have a motion yet anyway, right? I mean, don't we have to have a motion in a second? Kind of that's how it works. Nobody's going to bring a motion.
I move to post on the website.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, I believe it's been moved and seconded to approve the construction law section's request to post proposed model residential construction contract forms on their website. Does that sound accurate, folks? Okay. Any further discussion on this? Governor Williams-Ruth.
So the last two comments have got my wheels churning, and it goes back to the issue of section speech is WSBA speech, and so we would be basically trusting the section of the content, even though we are not here noodling through and going on the language of the content. We are approving it as WSBA speech, and having that disclaimer on there. So I appreciate the distinction and the differences but at the same time, I think it's even more nuanced than that we may not be in the weeds on the drafting, but we are approving of the content by having it put on a WSBA section website. Just to continue that chain of thought going down.
Advancement Director Platchey, followed by Governor Peterson.
Yeah, and this is kind of in response to Governor Williams-Ruth's comment. Yes, I think the sections are putting this up as a resource, and they are the experts. The construction law section is the expert in this field. And the other thing I would say is we put up resources for our members on a daily basis from CLE. They go up, they go with the disclaimer in the course book. We rely on the faculty to get it right. We're not proofreading every course book that comes out to members. We rely on the expertise of the members to do that. But we do provide a disclaimer that says we're not offering legal advice. You kind of use this at your own risk. It's the same thing they're doing here. This is really no different. They're providing a resource using their expertise to their members, and it would not even be possible for us to review and make sure that every resource that's provided to members as a professional development resource is accurate or not under the law. It would just be impossible to do. That's why we rely on the expertise of our members to do that.
I think I have Governor Peterson up next.
I guess I'm a little bit conflicted on this, and I think there is a distinction to be made as to, and we're actually not that worried about liability as to what we provide to our members. I'm more concerned about liability in terms of what we're presenting to the public who aren't attorneys and don't necessarily know what they're doing. You can be sued on a good form. I mean, there's a lot of ways to get sued. My concern is if we don't have malpractice insurance and we're essentially, these may be great forms. I have no doubt they probably are great forms, but I mean, if we don't have malpractice insurance and we're giving this to somebody off the street that doesn't know how to adapt it or how to change it or to make it work for their particular situation. I mean, I do contracts all day, every day. And if you don't know what you're doing, well, it will be malpractice and they'll get mad and they will sue somebody. If we had malpractice insurance, I mean, on the flip side, I love the fact that we're giving a resource to the public, right? So that's the conflicting part of it is, okay, but I mean, boy, we don't have malpractice insurance and we're giving forms to the public. That's a little alarming to me.
Okay, I've got Governor McBride followed by, you see Advancement Director Platchey, you have your hand up again? Yes, no? Okay, and then followed by former President Cicchetti.
So thank you, Mr. President, and either James or Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm looking at the current construction law section website, and these model contracts start out with the construction law section prepares these contracts as a public service to the industry and residential consumers. It's very similar to, we also offer jury instructions, and jury instructions change depending on your case as well as these. So I guess I'm not seeing the risk because it's clearly identified as the section prepared these, they're providing them as a service, whether it's an attorney or whether it's a private individual who uses them and doesn't modify based on their own facts. We pretty much have to shut down our website to avoid that implication on all sorts of stuff we do. The courts do it all the time too, but maybe they can't get sued, so they don't worry about it like we do. But I kind of like it. Just I'm on kind of a court bashing roll, and I don't know why, but I'm going to stay with it. So no, I'm very comfortable with this. And if I said something inaccurate, either you to correct me. But I think we're already doing this. That if we're really that concerned, should we be taking all this stuff down? And does that mean we got to look at every section's postings?
Advancement Director Platchey again.
Thank you. So you are correct, Governor McBride, in what you just stated. I'd say it goes beyond the sections. If we're going to be concerned about forms on the website, the limited practice board forms are all available to the public on our website. That's notes, deeds of trust, every document you need to close a real estate transaction. If you want to do it by yourself, you can go right to the site and pull the documents off and use it. So I think the same argument could be made there. And so I think this is a bigger question maybe than just these sections and that kind of thing, because if we're concerned about that, the concern goes further because there's a whole body of law of forms that pertain to it that are available to the public right now on the website under the limited practice program.
Thank you. Okay, I think we've got former President Sciacchetti.
And what comes to mind with thinking about this is our desk books. Should we not have any desk books? And I'm sure there are forms in our desk books. And we're now with the Long Range Strategic Planning Council, we're advancing an idea to make those available to everyone on the board, on the membership, but also to the public, whoever wants to buy those. And like this, those are drafted by members who are experts in their fields, and we trust that they are, writing the right things and are thinking about appropriate measures and doing a wonderful and skillful job at what they do. You can just tell by these, I do this for a living. This is, what I'm a construction attorney, and I can tell you that there is a lot of thought and effort that's going into these. And it's not ramshackle. This is done by the experts. So I agree with Governor McBride. I think the risk is incredibly low, and the idea that we would have to become all experts in construction before we would allow them to post these on the website. Well, that just brings everything down. That brings all the desk books down. That brings everything that we've posted, everything, any sections posted, everything then becomes an issue. And I think that would be, it's the exact opposite of what we want to do with the legislature and get more members out there to talk about, the application of law and expertise. Because, then that too could be an issue, so long as, even if you're talking about administration of justice and the two areas that are perfectly fine. So I like Governor McBride. I don't see the risk here, and I think it's a great resource for the members. It's a great resource for the public, and I don't see a problem with posting these on the websites.
Governor, let's see. Got Governor Stevens followed by Governor Williams-Ruth.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I guess as I'm listening to this discussion, I would ask the General Counsel, I'm going to vote for this, and I'm going to ask General Counsel and the Executive Director maybe to go back and do some more work if there are more protections like malpractice insurance that we need to get additional, then let's do that. But I certainly would not want us to be in this place where we just kind of stop doing everything we've been doing. Since I don't think this is first impression. I don't think this is the first time we've had forms or forms in desk books or whatever. So whatever the concern is, let's see how we address it, short of we're just going to stop doing it, as opposed to what additional protections we might want to put in place, if any.
Governor Williams-Ruth.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too am going to be voting for this because I don't want to hold up the construction law section with the bigger issue, as Director Platchey elucidated. This is a bigger issue, and I would request to be recognized after this vote, because I will make a motion to ask for general counsel's office to provide us a memo pertaining to liabilities of forms and even with disclaimers, because I just don't know whether that is sufficient. I mean, again, desk books have authors and editors, and they have duties and obligations to be correct for, I mean, there are you can't publish things that are false. I mean, unless it's a work of fiction. So there's somewhere along that line, there is liability shields and what have you. And I just don't know where this is. But again, I support the concept. I just want to make sure that we haven't been existing somewhere without a level of protection that would be needed, whether it's a malpractice or a specific language or whatever. So I encourage that we support the idea, and then I would ask to be recognized after the vote, Mr. President.
Have Governor Peterson.
Yeah, thank you, President Tolleson. I think obviously I think this is a great thing, and I think, and I'll probably end up voting for it too. But we require all of our members to either have malpractice insurance or have a disclaimer on their retainer agreement if they don't have malpractice insurance. If we're practicing law, which I think is a great service to our members and the public, so I'm definitely for it. I'm not sure why we wouldn't have malpractice insurance. I guess I'm not understanding that or the logic of that.
Governor-elect Fay.
Posting a legal form, even a contract form on the internet, is not the practice of law. LexisNexis does, they don't buy malpractice insurance. Taking that form and putting it into a contract where people will sign is the practice of law. But just having a form available to members in the public, I don't think you can get malpractice insurance for that because it's not practice. But I second the emotion of Governor, oh, I'm so bad with names, Ruth Wilson, that we have the general counsel do a little research to see if a form publisher has ever lost a case. I would be surprised if one has anywhere in the United States.
Thank you, Governor-elect Fay. Any other thoughts or comments? Or we have our tech guy, Rex Nolte.
If appropriate, just a comment as a member of the public who's used forms before to help me make a decision about, should I bring a lawyer in on this? Should I, so yes, I work here. I've been here a long time, but I'm also a member of the public, and these forms have been helpful in many areas of my life. And so I thank you all for putting those out there, and hopefully we can continue along those practices as long as it's safe for us to do so.
Anybody else have a question or comment before we vote on this motion? I don't see anybody. Am I missing anybody? Okay. Okay, this is the motion to approve construction law sections posting of these new residential construction contracts forms. All right, Governor Bell.
Aye.
Governor Adwale. Governor Angelville.
Aye.
Governor Boyd.
Aye.
Governor Clark. Governor Couch. Governor Dresden.
Aye.
Governor Higginson. Governor McBride.
Aye.
Governor Peterson.
Yes.
Governor Pertzer. Governor Sayani. Governor Stevens.
Aye.
Governor Williams Ruth.
Aye.
We have 8 yeses, the rest not voting. Is that what you have, Executive Director Nevitt? Motion to approve carries. I want to thank Mr. Yamada for his presentation and thank everybody else in the construction law section for their efforts to bring these contracts to fruition so they can be posted. Governor Williams-Ruth.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would move to request a legal memo from General Counsel's office pertaining to the liability, risk exposure, legality of the Bar Association posting forms and other legal documents, as well as general overview of case law across the country as toward form publication source liability.
Does everybody understand the motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Executive Director Nevitt, would you like to?
Okay, here's how I captured it. Governor Williams-Ruth moved to request a legal memo from General Counsel's office to address the legality and risk exposure for the bar in publishing legal forms, as well as a survey of the related legal landscape.
Perfect.
Okay, any comments on the motion? We got Governor Peterson's got his hand up.
Yeah, obviously I'm in favor of the motion. I'm just wondering if we might expand the motion to include if we're giving the public substantive law or members substantive law or other aspects that we're potentially giving legal advice either. I'm more concerned about the public than the members, but I mean, I guess you probably want to know both.
Is that a friendly amendment? I'm trying to figure this out.
I guess I'm just wondering if Governor Williams-Ruth would be willing to expand your motion to include other substantive law or other activities that the bar may be involved in that would be considered the practice of law.
I would indeed.
Okay, thank you.
Does a second approve that?
Sure. Yes.
Okay, so any discussion on the motion as friendly amended? No? Okay, so I'm going to have the executive director read it again so that everybody has it in mind before they vote.
The motion is to get a legal memo from General Counsel's office to address the legality and risk exposure for the bar in publishing legal forms and any other activities that might be considered the practice of law, as well as a survey of the related legal landscape.
Everybody have that in mind? I'm not going to ask General Counsel to say anything about that. I think I know what her answer is going to be. Okay. Governor Abell.
Aye.
Governor Adwale. Governor Angelbell.
Aye.
Governor Boyd.
Aye.
Governor Clark. Governor Couch. Governor Dresden.
Aye.
Governor Higginson. Governor McBride.
Aye.
Governor Peterson.
Yes.
Governor Pertzer. Governor Siani. Governor Stevens. Governor
Aye.
And Governor Williams-Ruth.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. I got them both. So I have, again, 8 yeses. The rest not voting. Is that what you have?
Yes.
Executive Director. So the motion carries. All right.